Mr. Wright. Mr. Delight? Did they finish their interrogation? Yes, but... Please don't leave me alone anymore! Mr. Delight, you lied to us before, didn't you? You see... On the same night the secret urn was stolen from Lord Taylor's department store, a blackmail letter you got summoned you to KB Security to hand over some money. And then that's where the CEO, Ken Bullard, was murdered. But there's only one Ron Delight, am I right? So the only question is, where were you that night? This time I want to hear the whole truth. Your life depends on it. Okay. Alright then. So that night, you didn't go to Lord Taylor, you went to KB Security, right? Yes, I went to KB Security at the time the blackmail note said I should. Alright, what happened next? Well, I used to work there, so I knew where the CEO's office was. I knocked, but there was no answer. So then I used the keycard to unlock the door. That's probably when he dropped his wallet. When I went into the CEO's office, someone was in there. Someone? And suddenly they bashed me over the head. Bam! Was it Ken Bullard that hit you? I don't know. The person ran away while I was still stunned. I came to my senses. The sight I saw left me speechless. The dead body of the CEO was right there in front of me. I thought I died myself. Anyway, I thought I should do something with the body. So that's why you put it in the safe? Yes, that's right. Huh. I used to be the chief of one of the security team, so I know how to open it. Okay, and what did you do after that? Well, I got out there for starters. I was the one who set up the security cameras in that building. So I knew how to avoid being spotted by him. Nick? All of a sudden, Mr. Delight kind of sounds like a murderer to me. Please don't say that. Mr. Delight, do you still insist that you're masked to mask? Isn't that what I've been saying since yesterday? That was a quick response. Tell me about it. To be honest, it's starting to get irritating. But listen, Mr. Delight. At the trial today, we learned the true identity of the thief, didn't we? Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. I guess it's true. I wasn't the one who stole that urn. Of course not. After all, you were at KB Security at the time. So then the person dressed up as Master Mask in this photo, it's gotta be Detective Amy. Huh. Mr. Delight, is it true that 1 year ago, you were forced to quit KB Security? How did you... I'm begging you, please don't tell Desi, please! Don't worry, we haven't told anyone yet. Phew, thank goodness. No, well, I suppose I'll have to tell her sometime. She'll find out eventually. Why have you been hiding it from her anyway? Desi would despise me if she ever found out I was living a life of crime. A criminal, a thief. She'd never forgive me. My marriage would be over. Knowing that, why did you become a thief in the first place? Because Desi spends money like it's water. There's no job in the world that could bring enough money. Except being a thief. At least that's what I thought anyway. They became Master Mask for Desiree, huh? Intriguing. What do you think about this? Hey! There's an article about my debut heist! Boy, that was a tough one. Before I knew it, they were hot on my trail. But Master Mask, he must have gotten away, right? It says in the article that he disappeared. That's right. I got a sudden burst of inspiration. I hid my Master Mask costume in a nearby plastic bucket. Then I quickly changed to my security guard uniform. Pretty clever, eh? Wow, awesome. Hey, hold the phone. The card in this photo. Is this you, Mr. Delight? Hehe, that's right. Nice trick if I do say so myself. Nice easy to figure out. Even pros could see through that in a heartbeat. But as we might expect, Detective Atme found a disguise. He truly deserves the title of Ace Detective. Detective Atme found a Master Mask disguise? That's interesting. Yes, and I heard that he brought it home with him. So that's it. That's when Amy got his hands on this. Thanks to that, I got a chance to remake my costume. That must have been really time-consuming, huh? Yes, it took quite a while to complete. Anyway, a few days after that, I received the first of the blackmail letters. But blackmail letters? You got them started when? Tell me more, now! Hey, calm down. Don't get so worked up. This blackmail letter, is this the first one you got? No, of course not. But this is the first one that ever called me out on to a specific location. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Eminent heist. The first letter, it said, I know you did it. So someone found out about your true identity? Just like that? Ah, it's not easy being a master thief, you know. I've got proof that it was you, so give up, it went on to say. So in the end, I had to give up a treasure I went through all that trouble to steal. Is that right? Hey, hang on a second, what do you mean we had to give it up? Oh, don't worry. After I put the jewel in the safe deposit box the letter specified, someone sent me $10,000. No one said anything about me being worried, you know. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. Plans? What are these plans you're talking about? There were instructions on how to steal a crown or painting or some other rare treasure. They showed security blind spots, easy escape routes, and even suggested training methods. So you mean that the one who planned the heist wasn't you? No, it wasn't. I only planned the very first one. After that, I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans. Sounds like Mr. Delight is thankful to the person that was blackmailing him. So Ron Delight was Master Mask after all. But someone else is behind the thefts. Someone who planned them all out in detail. All I had to do was deposit the treasure I stole into the safe deposit box. I just waited for the cash to come in the mail. Could you try not to look so gleeful about it? So I went after the sacred urn because of one of those plans too. Well, see, the truth is, I've never seen the urn. All I did was follow the instructions and steal what was told to steal. Mr. Delight, is everything you've just told me the truth? Yes, but please don't tell Desi, okay? Huh. Ron, before you go, there's one more thing I want to ask you. Yes, but please don't hurt me. Mr. Kane Bullard, do you swear that it wasn't you who killed him? Yes, of course. I could never... I'm not lying. All I did was hide his body in the safe. But then I was afraid they'd discover what I did, so I turned myself in yesterday. Why? Well, if the judge had ruled that I was guilty of robbery, I have an alibi, right? I guess so. You're really clever, Mr. Delight. I guess I have no choice but to take Mr. Delight word. Mr. Kmaya! Hey, Pearly! I'm back. Hey, Pearls, so what have you been up to this whole time? The sacred urn, Mr. Nick. I took it back to Grand Village to have it examined. And, what did you find out? Well, there's no need to worry. They said it's the real urn. Phew! That's a relief. I was really worried. But there's one small problem. Problem? These cute little pink splotches, they said that it's paint, and that they were put on the urn recently. Why are we talking about the pink splotches again? What's the big deal? What's the big deal? We gotta find out how they got there. That's a big deal. Yes, Mr. Nick, we've gotta find out how they got there. Okay, we'll go find out how they got there. But please don't forget about me. Oh, Pearl, how nice to see you. Hello there. I haven't seen you around lately. What have you been up to? Well, actually, I was having this urn examined. Oh, I see. Maybe if we take another good look at this urn, we can figure out the mystery of what actually happened here. Nick, let's look around one more time. Okay. Well, this box has paint on it. This box, there's something about it that's bothering me. That's the box that the sacred urn was in. It looks like there's some pink paint on it too. And it's definitely the same color as the stuff in the urn. I think I know how the paint got on it now. Alright, let's investigate it again, Nick. Here we go. That was a little missing spot there. Looks to me like it's been dry for several days. Something suspicious about this paint mark. Bottom left part of it is shaped oddly and shockingly pink. Mr. Nick, could it be that this odd shape is... Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. Ah, that's the box the sacred urn was in. If you look here, there's a little bit of paint on the box as well. Wow, you're right. Look, it matches.
What is it, Mr. Nick?
This is all turning out exactly as I thought it would. I think it's all starting to become clear. We're that much closer to solving the mystery of what happened to the urn. Miss Andrews, prepare to have your Cyclops removed. Doo-doo. The sacred urn. Miss Andrews, do you know anything about the sacred urn? Do I know anything? I'm in charge of the entire treasure exhibit. The urn that was submitted before the court today, it's obviously not the same urn as before. Well, that's true. Maybe it isn't the same. It could be a fake. A fake. You're the one who said it wasn't the same, so that's the most obvious explanation. Do you have any evidence that the urn was submitted at the time a trial was genuine? I don't know. Look at it. Sorry to break it to you, but the urn is the genuine article. Pearls went back to Green Village and had it examined. Is that right? That's nice, but I don't see how... What she discovered was that the urn has been broken. Again. Did you say... again? Yes, it was broken once a year ago. And now it looks like the same thing has happened. And quite recently, too. Recently? Are you saying that this urn was broken recently? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Why do you think it was broken recently? How do you know? Because it has pink splotches on it. So, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you think it was broken recently again? Well, because, I just think so. Sorry, but that's not a valid explanation. Grrr, the hunter has become the hunted. Fuck, alright. Well, it was broken recently. Come on, you know it. I'm not willing to yield to you on this point. Get a grip, please. Now, I'll ask you one more time, Mr. Wright. What do you think it was broken recently? How do you know? Oh, right. Fuck. This poster, it was made recently, right? Poster? Ah, the poster for the exhibit. At the time when this photo was taken, the urn said, I am on it. But now, for some mysterious reason, it says Amy. When the urn was fixed, the letters were transposed. Ah! I am? What does that even mean? I don't know anything about that. I wasn't even there when the photo of this poster was taken. That was a mistake. Now, tell the truth. Wait! Even if the urn was broken, I had nothing to do with it. Huh? Yes, that's it. It must have been one of those people at the photo shoot. They probably dropped it. I'm sure that's what happened. Looks like she's not gonna give up that light Cyclops so easily. Do you have any proof that the urn was broken here at Lowly Taylor? Here we go. Now, paint. Well, Miss Andrews, what is this supposed to mean? There's pink paint all over this urn. And there's pink paint all over the floor and walls of this basement warehouse. In other words, this urn was broken here. You can't weasel out of this one, Miss Andrews. But, uh-oh, she's trying to make her escape. But you can get pink paint anywhere. Well, there's none in my office, that's for sure. Well, there is in my room. Liar. Anyway, the paint on the urn and the paint on the floor, there's no proof that it's the same paint. Come on, this is getting ridiculous. The proof linking the paint on the urn to the paint on the floor is... right? The box itself. This box, the urn was stored in this, right? Yes, that's right. Well, there's pink paint on this box as well. Ah! I think you already know where I'm going with this, don't you? Yes, more or less. The paint on the floor has an odd shape imprinted on it. In it, doesn't it? Yes. If you put this box into the impression in the paint, you can see it fits perfectly. Which means this box was dropped right over there. And that is when the urn was broken. Your name does you justice, Mr. Wright. Whew. Alright. I'm so sorry. How is the one who broke the urn? Boy, does this make me feel like some sort of evil school teacher. I'm a terrible person. Not only did I break it, but I tried to hide what I did. Well, that's not so hard to understand, is it, Pearly? No, not at all. I know just how she feels. It happened about 2 weeks ago, just after the poster photo was taken, on the same day the urn arrived here. I thought I'd put it away down here for safekeeping. I was carrying it in the box. When I tripped on a paint can and lost my balance, the box I was carrying crashed to the ground. Crash! I heard a terrible noise and I thought my heart was going to stop. Fearing the worst, I opened the lid of the box and that's when it happened. The broken pieces of the urn fell out of the box and landed right in the paint. I was in shock. And let out a huge scream. Yarr! I can totally see how that could have happened. Yeah, as clumsy as she is, I'm sure Maya understands. Well, I knew it was the most important treasure in all of Crayon Village, so I tried as hard as I could to fix it. Fortunately, the shards were pretty big. That's when the I am got changed to Amy. I didn't know how it was originally written, but any sane person fixing it would have assumed it said Amy. Any sane person? Really? Oh, Pearls. She said she wasn't very good at spelling. Anyway, I put the urn into the storeroom and no one has seen it ever since. But there's something I don't get. When we first came here, I didn't see any paint stains. Well, that's because it was so ugly and embarrassing. I used a golden statue to cover it. The Amy face statue? Aha! The first time that we came down here, it was on the night that the sacred urn was stolen.
But Mr. Nick, there was no paint marks on the wall or the floor of the warehouse when we were here.
Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. And I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I see. Now it makes perfect sense.
But there's still one thing I found strange.
What is it, Pearl?
The day after the urn was stolen, we came here again. At that time, the statue had been moved and the paint was clearly visible.
She's right about that. Well, Miss Andrews? Huh? What? I don't know anything about that. I placed it there to cover the paint, so why would I move it again? Well, then who was it? Who would have done it and why? On the day before the theft, the statue was definitely closer to the door. Then the next day, it was moved. But why? The plot thickens. Looks like there's some connection between the sacred urn and the murder case. Why? What do you think, Sir Nick? Because that night, the real thief Ron Delight was at KB Security. So then why did another Master Mouse show up here? A lot of different things are pointing to one undeniable fact.
One undeniable fact?
The murder trial is starting tomorrow, but looks like that thief is gonna be making another appearance. To be continued. Hey, Nick! What is it this time? You won't believe how many people are here for the trial. Well, it is a murder case. What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door. Next door? What do you know this, Nick? Sigh, they're having Detective Amy's trial today. Detective Amy? They say they're gonna turn him as Master Mask. Already? That was fast. Boy, I'd love to see Master Mask's trial. I know. Who would say that? I know. Oh no! By the way, where's Pearls? Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore. I know you don't like me. Pearls has really gotten her training lately, huh? Yeah, ever since that incident last year. Please don't ignore me! Oh, Mr. Delight. Good morning. No one likes me. No one would notice me even if I killed someone. Come on, don't be silly. Wait a sec. You don't mean you're the murderer? No, I'm just a poor thief. No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor. Now let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending to him to help him commit the heists. Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick? It's possible, but today's trial is a race against the clock. Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always. I'm afraid that's not an option. Alright. If you say it's not an option, then it's not an option. You don't have to explain anything to me.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
You're ready? Preparation is the last refuge of the weak. Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godot.
He's got the judge in the palm of his hand. Yet again.
Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all. I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot. Ha! Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war, but that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right? Yes. Well then, let me briefly summarize the details of this case.
Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change.
The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 AM on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 AM of the previous day. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Very well then, Mr. Godot. Please call your first witness. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. But the first one is always the best. Mr. Godot, your witness. Okay then, let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself. The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but...
I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify.
Ha! You've got guts, Trite. Alright then, Mr. Ron Delight. Please take the stand.
Oh.
You did it, didn't you?
Yes! What? No, that's not true!
For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever.
Sigh. Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making. But once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put that last nail in his own coffin.
Ha! Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why'd you go to KB Security?
Well, that's kind of hard to say. Boy, I wish I could go home.
Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened.
That evening, around 1 AM, I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. A blackmail letter I got, he ordered me to go there. I've been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was.
1 AM, the exact time the murder took place.
The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. Ha! It's bitter today, too. Just like my destiny. You'd never know that from the way he's chugging it down.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please.
Alright. Sure. That evening around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. 1 a.m., huh? You're absolutely sure about that? Yes, that's what my watch said when I was entering the CEO's office. No, actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow and my internal clock was also...
1 a.m. That's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct?
It's too late for a coffee date, that's for sure. The blackmailer I got, it ordered me to go there. It ordered you there? It was the first time I got a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere.
Does that mean you've gotten other blackmailers then?
Oh, of course. They'd say things like, steal this or take that. Why don't you save those for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say any more. Now, what should I do? Sure. So what did the blackmail letter in question say? It said to bring $50,000. Money, eh? A perfect motive for committing murder. Oh, but wait! I never intended to pay that money anyway.
Oh, is that right?
After all, he had nothing to do to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of.
An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony.
Yes, sir. Huh. A muddy mud skipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do. A blackmail threat didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me trouble or nothing. Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway?
The blackmail letter said if you don't want your identity revealed, correct?
I'm sure it was referring to the old musty must thing. But I wasn't worried. Mr. Bullard didn't have anything on me.
He didn't?
Anyway, I don't care what anyone says about me. Just as long as Desi believes in me. So that's why Mr. Delight didn't believe he was Master Mask. That's why I knew they were just hollow threats. I've been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. He used to be a security chief for KB Security, right? Yes, that's right.
A security chief? You?
And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge? A perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? Isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject. Sure. We never really knew why he was fired, right? Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job. Well... The world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that. Okay then, I take it back.
Defendant, please answer the question.
Well, I needed money.
You needed money?
Well, you see, Desi loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby. Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick? My salary wasn't nearly enough, so I stole data from the company. Come again? KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies, and since I was a security team chief... You stole some data and sold it. Mr. Bullard found out and I was fired immediately. What? I wish I had never asked that. I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I quit on my own. What is it, Nick? You don't look so good. Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You'd do well to remember that. He sure told you.
So you admit that you sold data from your company, is that correct?
Yes, I'm sorry.
This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony.
Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse. Crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. He fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi doesn't know about that. Why would you do something like that? Well, for Desi's hobby. What else? Wasting money, huh? It's not a waste! So Mr. doesn't know that her husband was fired, does she? So it would seem. I'm not sure what to think about couples who keep secrets like that from each other. I can't believe it. This case has gotten even mine to think seriously about couples.
Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright.
There wasn't much to his testimony, was there? Sounds like he's avoiding something. At least, that's what it sounds like to me. Uh-oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. We better be careful. But if we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get closer to the truth. Yeah. What? Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway?
The blackmailer said if you don't want your identity revealed, correct?
I'm sure it was referring to the old mas thing. Oh. I'm afraid that reason isn't going to hold up anymore. What do you mean? The victim had no proof the defendant was mask to mask. Oh yeah. But you were the one who stole company secrets only 1 year earlier. But that was all over with once I was fired. But it's true that the fact that I stole secrets was kept under wraps. Even so, there was no reason for me to pay up now, a whole year later. Is that really true? What is it, Nick? The fact that Ron was stealing company data, I wonder if he would have had a problem if that ever became public knowledge. Well, Desi wouldn't like it, right? Mr. Delight, I believe you would have been in considerable trouble if your identity as a company data thief was made public.
Eric! Mr. Wright, what are you trying to do by bullying your own client?
Ha! Men are like colonies of bacteria. The more heat you apply, the faster they grow. That's exactly right. Well then, feel free to keep up the heat, my little lawyer amigo. Little lawyer amigo? Yes, now come on, provide some evidence to back up your assertion. Why would Mr. Delight want to keep his data stealing secret from going public? Because Desi, right? Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday. Huh? What doesn't? I think you must have been scared. Very scared. Of having a certain person find out your secret? Gulp!
A certain person?
Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife. Wow! But why? Listen to me, my Desi, she's... Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. Grr, Godot. Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault.
What do you mean?
Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about.
Oh!
No! Everything is falling neatly into place for him. Don't talk about my Desi like that. Oh, you'll be sorry!
Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far.
What do you think, Nick? I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes.
Clearly there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much.
The motive is clear. Let's move on. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears.